Hello guys and welcome back to another Devlog episode. In this Devlog I will be going to implement a mounting system for the Platterich, which I first tried to do by incorporating it into the player movement script, but that obviously didn't work that well, which you can see here. I'm just kind of floating, the gravity was all off, and then I decided to try and make it into its own scripts and just get it to move that way. And that's slowly what I've been doing in between studying. And yeah, sorry for the lack of devlog videos. The last week I didn't put one out, and that's because my study at university is taking quite some time right now, because I'm slowly going to be having to do my assignments and also giving track with everything. The exams are coming up, and then I'm just doing this in between, kind of making it all work together. And then now you see me just slowly programming in the two movement scripts or mounting scripts. Firstly, I did the mounting, and then I did the control, which the mount control script is just basically the movement script for the player, but applied to the Platterich. And then the mount script is just to see when you hop on it. But firstly, it didn't work at all, and I was just flying all over the place when I was on the Platterich, which wasn't ideal at all. But that means I might have an easy way to implement flying when I get there. And then I just went back, tried slowly, just getting the mount system to work. It was a bit tricky to get the gravity work again. It didn't work at a point because I hadn't applied the gravity correctly. I reset it every time so you wouldn't fall at an accelerating speed, but then everything worked. And yeah, it's just basically two scripts, the mount and the mount control, and everything is just C# scripts. And it really helped just taking it away from the player movement script and making it its own, and just checking whether or not you're mounted, and then disabling the player movement script when you're mounted. That was a really nice touch to it, and also helped tremendously with the movement. But yeah, it took some time to figure out how and what way was going to be a good way to implement it. But I thought it was pretty nice, and also I should probably do something about you're not being able to go up the treehouse when you're mounted, that you need to be a player that you can't just ride up. Maybe put a trigger on it or something so you're not able to climb up the treehouse or walk up the stairs, that you need to dismount for it. But yeah, I thought it worked out pretty well. And then after that, I went on a walk just to get some inspiration, because I was in need of having some new ideas for what to implement. And then the walk really helped also, just not with what to implement, but also to what the environment should be. And then slowly I just began sitting down on a bench and writing the ideas. One of the ideas was that before you were able to mount the Platterich, you should be able to tame it. So you just can't mount every Platterich, but just the one you have tamed. Another idea was that the players should have combat. You would be able to go against enemies and fight enemies, and that might be a sword, some magic, a bow. You also should have a skill tree implemented, and I should maybe do a map so you have the map to go to the different places of the world. And at the same time also some creatures and more creatures, like the fox combined with the moose, maybe a flying creature, a dragon, or bird that was crossed with another animal. And then also some enemies. I was really discussing with myself if the enemies should be goblins or some already figure out enemies, like someone and some creatures you already know, or if I should create my own. And then I also had the idea of a quest system where you would just take on different quests. And then some random ideas was you can collect the animals as companions and tame them like the Platterich. And also that the animals can be shiny and have an abnormal color like in Pokemon. And then also the animals would have stats, like some jump a bit higher or other run faster, which I thought would be really nice. And then I also played a little bit around, as you saw a bit earlier, with a different kind of toolbar, because the one right now is just a placeholder. But I didn't like the idea, it didn't fit that well, so I'm just going back to that again. And I hope you enjoyed this devlog. If you did, please consider giving it a like and subscribe.